just in a minute, we'll show you a video that we hope will make you interested and possibly help get a better understanding of Russian literature and Russia in general.
Well, we're intrigued, so shall we get started quickly?
Okay, here comes the greatest trio united by Crimea, some of the most eminent and readable Russian classics of literature.
Alexander Pushkin is the greatest Russian poet, novelist, and one of the most authoritative personalities of the 19th century. After making a 2-month journey around Caucasus, exiled Pushkin arrived on Crimean land. After visiting Kerch and Feodosia, he came to Gurzuf, the place where Pushkin spent the happiest days of his life. They set off on the ship Ebo. At night, Pushkin wrote one of his most famous elegies, The Daylight Has Gone Out. Raevsky and Pushkin stayed at Richelieu's country estate in Gurzuf. In this place he wrote his poem The Prisoner of Caucasus, which was dedicated to Raevsky's son. Many places here are connected with the great poet, who spent here 3 weeks in 1820. Behind me you can see the house of Richelieu, which was opened as Pushkin's museum in 1989. At the beginning of the park, not far from the entrance gate, there is a group of olive trees, one of the most favorite Pushkin's places. Under the trees the poet loved to walk, admiring the sea. Near the house of Richelieu there is a cypress which survived from that time. You can also see the Pushkin's plane tree, which was planted in his first anniversary of death in 1833.
Wow, I haven't heard about Pushkin's museum before. To be honest, I'm not much familiar with Pushkin either.
But shall we visit the museum next week?
Why not?
Really, why not?
We have definitely visit the museum, I think.
Anton Chekhov is one of the best figures in Russian literature. He is one of the greatest short story writers. In 1888, Chekhov visited Crimea for the first time. The captivating seascape are reflected in the story The Black Monk. Corvin came out of the balcony. The weather was warm and it smelled like sea. The marvelous bay reflected the moon and lights and had the color one could not imagine. Before long, Chekhov discovered that he suffered from tuberculosis. He often traveled to Yalta to improve his health. In 1899, the construction of a house in Autka, Yalta district, was completed, where the writer moved with his mother and sister. Chekhov's garden in Yalta is famous all around the world. It blooms the whole year. The writer planted trees and shrubs with his own hands. Soon in December 1899, one of the stories he wrote in Crimea, Lady with a Dog, was published.
Огромное значение в литературе придается любви. Все прекрасно на этом свете.
I wonder if this film has been dubbed in English.
I guess we can check that.
We have definitely checked that.
The next writer spent his last years abroad. By the way, he was a Nobel Prize winner.
Oh really? Who's he?
Okay, let's watch that.
One of the writers who repeatedly visited Crimea and praised the beauty of the marvelous peninsula was Ivan Bunin. The future writer often heard stories of his father about the Crimean War, the Sevastopol defense, and the brave Lieutenant Leo Tolstoy. Ivan Bunin came to Yalta many times and knew it well. The poet first visited Crimea in 1889 at the age of 19. In the early years of the 20th century, Bunin often came to Yalta, where Chekhov stayed at the time. The Crimean pages of the writer's biography are reflected in the novel Arsenius' Life. In poems related to Crimea, there was a place for everything: philosophical reflection in wine and cypresses, love and female beauty in the last years, memories of old friends and artists telling about Chekhov. The poems Suchan Su, On the Beach and Chaturdah were inspired by Crimean landscape.
That's a pretty landscape here, and one pretty girl. Can I get your phone number, please?
Oh, I'll try to get it for you. And what do you guys think about the video?
It seems that you're interested in our video and you have learned a lot.
Actually, we expected Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, but it was rather refreshing. Well, it was really nice watching it, and I'm sure that the writers we have heard about are worth reading.
Yeah, actually, I completely agree with you, and I would like that. We hope to see a lot of information, to get a lot of information about other Russian writers, and we hope to see the next video soon.
Yeah, right.
Okay.